can read that. But if you angle it like that, you cannot see what's in there, which is, hey, you know, that's a stupid thing. But really, how many aspects of a computer can we take a look at and see, wow, there's a possibility, or I never seen that angle, it looks nice, it's thin, I thought it's thick, or whatever it is, right? And that's what tabletop is about. We take a look at same things in many different ways because we have so ingrained and sometimes indoctrinated by the society that what we do feels like the only way and the best way, right? So we need to take a look from others' perspective. But as you look at that, now you start putting in some data or some information. Why is these things happening? Or what can we do? So these are the data that hopefully what we do and think, you know, and do in our food pantries will make more sense and hopefully will encourage more input as far as how can we help each other for the community. So go ahead, Morgan. I will interject as she explained this.
Okay, so what Merlin kind of asked me to do is look at the 46208 umbrella. So that's what we're going to look at today, and that's kind of the main area that Faith, Hope, and Love serves. So the population of 46208 is 22,565 people, roughly. So why is that important? Well, we're going to look at the poverty level of the U.S. first. So does anybody have any guesses as to what percentage of the U.S. lives in poverty?
30.
57%.
30%.
So the U.S. average poverty level is 15.5. Okay. So what about Marion County? Throw out some numbers. Did you say 18? Okay. So we jumped to 22.5 for Marion County.
Wow.
Okay, just Marion County. So that's kind of important. So Marion County is this orange line up here, and then the United States falls right down here. So what about when we look at the 46208 area? Like, where do you guys think that gap falls?
No, that got to be higher. 37. That's higher.
It jumps all the way up to 34.
Yeah.
So from 22% average for Marion County to jump that high for 46208.
Let's freeze there.
34%.
So looking at this perspective, now, you know, for me, it's just like, this is real life. 1 out of 3 people that you meet in this neighborhood is food insecure. Think about it. So in the perspective of, again, what we're doing, again, giving food, but we do have opportunities to reach out to them. Of course, they're hungry. You know, just like with Jesus, 5,000 people came over, he fed 5,000 people, and then he ministered to them. How many people came back or stayed? 12. But it doesn't matter. What he's showing us is that we just keep doing what we're doing because 12 are going to come, 24, and then before you know it, he conquered the world, starting with 12 people. So what is the opportunity that you can have? And we will take a look at that later on again as far as the number of clients. That's why I asked you how many average number of clients you serve on a monthly basis.
So the next thing we're going to look at is income, and then we'll do expenses. So just wild guess, what is the average U.S. total combined household income? So for the U.S., it's actually 53,000. Okay. So that's everybody. What about Marion County?
23.
For Marion County, we dropped to 42.
You know it drops.
Okay. What about 46208?
I'd like people to think about 46208.
18.
It's got to be less.
Income. Throw some numbers.
24.
18.
About half that, yeah.
Okay, we dropped to 32.
32,000.
So still to go from 53 to 32 is quite a jump. Okay, but this is where it gets crazy. The annual expenses for one person living in 46208 is $20,000, almost $21,000. So if their entire house is only making 32, you don't have much left. What about if there's a couple living together? 35,000 for their expenses, but their house is only bringing in 32 total in this area. Okay?
Okay, hold on.
That's why we have
Say
Right.
again what you said?
That's why we have poverty.
Right.
And that's why we have the problems start to accumulate. Crime,
Yes.
unemployment, you need income, you sell drugs, you have... Think about it. And that's why, when I look at these things, I look at the opportunity that we have. Many people are coming to us that are in chronic crisis. And what do? How can we help them?
So the word
It's not impossible though.
Yeah.
Megan, what's included in the expenses? What are you including in that?
Like healthcare, food, housing, like generally like every household expense you can think of, like the income, insurance, all of those
Those
things.
ones right there.
It gets a little bit worse though. So the next one we're going to look at is a family of 4. So your average household income is $32,000. What do you think it's like to have 2 parents, 2 kids? Okay, $48,000 for that family of 4, but they're only bringing in $32,000. So the one thing that we like, when you can look at that and see how that's pretty bad, but the one thing that we do have on our side in this area is 85.9% of people have a high school degree or more in this area, so that is good.
Hold on. Isn't it great? We can be miracle workers in this area. 85% are high school graduate. I mean, the people living in poverty knows how to read, and they have education. But what happens? Some people says knowledge is power. But now we know knowledge is potential power only if you use the knowledge. So now we're starting to think, what can we do, right? Okay, go ahead.
So then we look at this bigger picture, like why does this matter, okay? And that's where Marion is.
All right, very good. Let's give her a hand. All right, go ahead and have a seat. You can just take some notes. Good job, Morgan. This is just like, I just thought about this. I said, okay, what other ways we can do to take a look and tackle the problem or problems? We have people coming to us. Again, I think I shared with you before that what is the difference of people coming on a Sunday morning in your church and on a Thursday afternoon going to a food pantry? And how do we treat them? How do we treat them?
With respect.
What's the difference? The same church, same people, same ministers, same pastors, and yet it's different.
Different, yeah. Unfortunately.
What if really the church is that the people inside the building? And we always say that. So what is the difference of, some people call it Sabbath, Sunday, rest day, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, food pantry day, church day, whatever. It doesn't matter. They go in your church. Actually, you can attract more people in the church with what we do. I mean, the people who are like maybe the non-Christians, right? Because we have something that we provide for them. But that is the desperation that we see. Okay, so this is a discussion time, all right? What is, first of all, I have a question here. Okay, let's go. Go ahead.
No,
No, I was just gonna say, it would be good, maybe next month, find out what the mental health percentage issues are also. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because,
Let's
you
work
know,
on
this
that.
area, I just know this is straight down the street.
Mental health.
Anything else, since you mentioned that, anything else that would be helpful for us to really look at this corporately and in different ways?
Oh, mental health.
Mental health.
Substance abuse,
Substance abuse,
Felony records,
that's
Felony.
a good
for
one.
felons.
how about single parents?
Single parents, yes.
How about illegal aliens or illegal, you know,
Immigrants?
immigrants?
Well,
Aliens?
they sometimes fly up underneath the radar.
That's why, hey, you know what, that's in the
It's hard to
Bible.
find them.
The
They
Bible,
be
in
right
the
there
Old
in your face
Testament
and you
said,
even know
don't
it.
forget the widows and the aliens, right, and the orphans.
They're the ones that's getting by.
Oh,
we struggle.
okay, yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna suggest that maybe we could find out what the population makeup is.
Okay.
In
Oh, yeah.
08.
All right, very good. Anything else, Donna?
Well, how many children or parent, ratio to children in it per household?
Okay, Bill?
Well, I think if you really look into this deeply, you will find, if you get down, it's 46,208, I mean, this is good. If you really want to dig down deep into this, you have to go down, within a few blocks. And having done some of this, you'll come to a place where you'll find that there'll be a very low income level in certain areas in the city. I'm talking $10,000 a year. And the educational level will be very low. Fewer people will have graduated from high school. And you'll also probably find the crime index is higher. So that environment, particularly when it's very intense, tends to produce a multitude of troubles and problems in a person's life, because this is all around me. This is what I see, this is what I learn, and so it's very important to see the places where it is intense, but you're going to get a profile from that particular area, including mental health. And so, if we can identify,
We cannot solve everything today.
no,
So, okay, go ahead.
but
We just want to get some more
what I'm
ideas.
driving at is, the more order you find in an area, it doesn't have to be a rich area to have lots of order. There's reasons for that, if you can determine that. Then you find an area, there's a spectrum, there's more disorder, more disorder, more disorder. What are the factors that really, are associated with that?
Yeah.
And how can we address that, in a pantry?
Yeah.
Is the greatest need jobs? You can send them here, because they know what they're doing and how to help people. 211, if today, my baby's starving, 211. So part of this is helping people to get the answers that will work for their life. We don't have to be all the answers.
In other way, it's more dimensional, and that's what we're trying to do in food pantry and soup kitchen. And you heard me say this before. Before we have more people, less people hungry. 10 years ago, less food pantries 10 years ago. After 10 years, now we have more people are hungry, more food out in the streets, and more food pantries and soup kitchen. What's going to happen in the next 10 years if we don't change something? Good.
I want to add that you have people who are living off of $10,000 and $12,000 a year who have high school diplomas, not GEDs, but high school diplomas. Some of them even have associate degrees, and they're living off of less than $12,000 a year because either they have some kind of disability that has forced them out of the workplace, and they have to live off of this $11,000 a year. They gotta pay rent, they gotta buy groceries, they gotta pay for medicine, and you can't, they're not always able to find housing that's based on their income, so they have to pay full market value for the rent. So 50%, or I'm gonna even say 60%. 60% of their income, monthly income, is going towards just keeping a roof over their head. Forget about the light bill, the gas bill, the medicine, all that. They just trying to pay rent. And they can't work, probably want to work, but they can't work because they have a disability. And you got a huge amount of people out there like that.
You know, you're exactly right. That is such a huge problem. Disability is what I see, is what sucks so much of the income. When we were talking about the expenses, though, you know, we live in a country that has so much abundance, and our government provides so many different programs and assistance. I wonder if there is a way, and I think Merlin's doing a really good job of this, but I wonder if we could go even further, where we educate people to know where they can go. You know, the people that have the money are the ones that are the smart ones. They know where to go for the deals. They don't pay full price. They buy things on sale. And most of the people that we're talking about, they have so many other problems, they can't figure out where the best sale is. And I'm not talking about the best sale for clothes. I'm talking about the best sale for everything they need in their lives. So we've got food pantries. They don't have to spend a lot of money on food because there are food pantries. You know, and I think we just need to blow that up so we can help more people figure out where the best deals are for housing, for everything.
Maybe homeless people in this area code are homeless, not having a house due to their low income.
Coming from the housing industry, because I was in that for 10 years, Section 8 subsidized housing. You know, there are other things involved with that. You know, number one, if it's a good place where it's got, you know, got good owners and stuff that take care of it, I mean, there could be a wait list 1 to 3, 5 years. I mean, easy. I mean, it's a wait list. Second, they can't have a violent felony. Many times they will not let violent felons in. So if anybody has any sort of violent felony, you know, they wouldn't even be able to get in there. You know, so I mean, those are some of the other things involved with housing. You know.
Very good. Okay.
Maybe if there's a way to determine the types of jobs that people have before 628, because
Types of jobs.
if there's a lot of poverty, do people have a lot of, you know, service or fast food or, you know, just low wage jobs? And that could help to see, okay, if there are a lot of low wage jobs, we need to attract more higher wage jobs.
Yeah.
We also forget transportation, and I had mentioned this because Miss Lydia had this conversation back and forth, the transportation of how far do you have to travel to go to a store. And so that's the thing that some people was like, oh, I have to get in the car and actually drive to go to a store, and it may be 10 minutes, it may be 20 minutes from their actual house. And so now we was talking about, because 23rd and Central, they built in a gas station. And I was just like, the grocery store is 16 in College, maybe in that area. And so you don't have the 88 right there on Fairview right there. So, I mean, it's just like there's grocery stores. Where are they? I mean, the transportation, you have to look at that also. The cost of gas. The cost of gas go up every day. I mean, last week we were paying one something. Now we back at $2.25, $2.08, you know. So it's just like the cost of even getting a whole family on a public transportation bus. And I mean, we used to live in Lafayette, and kids used to ride free. Here in Indianapolis, it's like once you're over the age of 5, you got to pay for the fare, you know. So, I mean, you do. You have parents that be like, okay, you 4, you 3, you know. They telling their kids so then they can get on, you know, so they can afford to take their children around the city. And it's really sad.
Good, Lydia.
I know we have one of our guests that come to our feeding ministry weekly. He comes to our feeding ministry weekly. He has a master's degree. He's a programmer, computer programmer. He's not software, but he's a programmer. But he comes every week. He would catch the bus, and when he came this week, he said it's going to rain, and he comes in and he tries to get as much pantry as we allow him to take, as well as he'll come in and go to other places. And he's trying to get a bus. He has someone that's may come and bring him and drop him off, and then he has to catch the bus back across town. He's not even from our area, across town. Now he has a degree, and he's seeking, and he can't get employment. So you have those that we're under the false notion that everyone that walks through the doors are chemically dependent or homeless. You have those that has the education, had the job, but just can't get their foot back in. And here he is coming across town to he wants a hot meal, and if the weather, he's challenged because he's OCD-ish type personality, so I can see if he walks in and I've removed the tables, he stands there, and I want, what's the matter? Things are out of order. He can't handle that. And I said, well, just have a seat. He said, I need you to keep things in order. But he's that type of personality. So we have to be mindful of those that have those type of backgrounds as well, and just need that, trying to find a way to get a foot in. Yeah. And he has no transportation. He's on bus, and he's carrying food that he needs.
All right. So probably we got one more, and then we're going to eat.
Well, no, I was just gonna say the other night or last week, I had the privilege of walking 10 Point and be able to hand out, opportunities for FedEx, to people who have felonies, young men, because you had to be able to lift 75 pounds. But I mean, it was amazing, the response, because so many of them can't get jobs because they've got a felony on their record. And just to see them going, people putting their hands up going, hey, I'm interested, I want this, because they've seen the door slam so many times in their face, because of maybe one mistake. But the problem is, that one thing not being able to, will cause that problem not open other doors for them for jobs. So that drives them to have to survive in other ways, and so that's where the crime comes in and other things. But I love what 10 Point's doing in that regard. They really have worked some deals, with Federal Express. And I think that can happen across the community as well, but it's just kind of getting that in the hearts of the employers, but we got to disciple the people too. Can't be putting people who still have bad habits into
Sure.
they won't be able to keep the jobs, you know what I'm saying? So there needs to be discipleship that goes with it.
So we can't really get lost now in the forest, right? We cannot solve this problem. Somebody says we're not God, right? Sometimes somebody says that being a Christian, sometimes it's a problem if they're thinking about that they have all the problems in the world. Not every need is a call. That's something that Christians need to understand probably, at least for me, because otherwise, I used to be a staff in a church, and a few of the pastors there had depression, medicine, majority of them. So that's why we have to take a look at, now we see the bigger picture, right? What's happening a little bit. This is just very small information as far as what's happening in Indianapolis and also in 46208 or in your own backyard. We see the bigger picture. Now we want to see what the deeper role of food ministries are. Now that we have opened some, what's happening in people's lives and really, what's happening in the community, what is the deeper role of food ministry when we know that the people who come to our soup kitchen and food pantry are in this? Most of them, okay? I'm not saying everyone. Most of them are in crisis. And many of them are in chronic crisis. In other words, how can we shorten the line? And for some of you who are coming to our food pantry, that's tomorrow, for our fundraiser, we're going to talk about how we can shorten the line. But I just want to show that to you. Again, we cannot discuss all of this, but is this conversation helpful?
Yes.
Yeah.
Make a lot of sense to me.
Because really, it affects not just the people that we serve, but our own backyards. You know that? The people that we serve there, it's not just, that's their stuff. In the context of, community, we are also affected by what's happening there. That means we have responsibility, but we do have, all of us are Christians here, I believe. We don't proselytize people, we don't force prayer, but we just love on them. And then once they feel that authentic love, then they will open up to us. And that's what we talk about the registration, okay? So we talk about this registration. I send it to everyone. It's more, again, we can get more information here, but you're going to be lost in the forest again. But this is what we feel, what's necessary, at least at this point. You guys got this, right? On the email list?
Yes.
So in order for us to tackle really what's happening in our community, we need to gather data, not just Faith, Hope, and Love, or not just, a few people, but all of us. We need information from you so that we can put this all together and we can actually come out with better, educated, well-researched facts so we can help people. So, so the next question, I probably maybe just 2 or 3 people. The next question is that how many clients do you average a month?
How many?
Clients, people that you serve, unique individuals a month.
We're coming in about 15 to 20 families a month. That's basically what we get. I'm sure it could be more at times and everything, but I really want to say about 15 to 20 families.
Okay.
Right now.
All right. In your food pantry.
Yeah, we have about 50 or 60 people a month.
50 or 60, those are unique individuals, or they can come twice a month, and then you count them twice a month. So maybe 30. So 30 unique individuals that you serve. Okay, so these are very good information, because now we represent about 8 to 10 food pantries in 46208 area. They are all here. And if we gather those information, we can actually go to the government, to foundation, to whatever, and show them, and even, especially the churches, show them this is what's happening in your backyard. Jerry or Rita or Charles, how many do you average in your soup kitchen?
We basically do our SAM ministry every Thursday, and from my calculation, I would say we have an average of 15 to 25 people every Thursday that come for the hot meal.
So how many different people?
It's the same people.
Same, so maybe 15 to 20 different people?
It's the same people every week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Same
right.
people every week.
Good. That's a great way to maybe introduce. I know you're already doing that, the discipleship or something. Lydia, how many do you your food ministry serve?
I'll say organically about 60. So because we're weekly, twice a week, and so if you just count them basically once, and then every now and then we have new people that come in.
But
So-
60 unique
I mean,
individuals.
yeah, unique.
Okay.
Yeah,
So 60 for
on
Barnes.
average.
Gene, how about you?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because we feed about 60 people 6 times a week, so, that's 1,600 meals.
Right.
So about 60.
So that's
Yeah.
about 60 then.
Yeah.
If you average 60 a week, then that's about
Yeah.
60 a month,
It's a lot of food.
right?
No,
60, about 60 different individuals.
Oh, 60 different people.
Yeah.
2,400.
We
Yeah,
haven't,
but
we haven't
he said
changed over
every-
people, but what that
every day.
percentage is.
Right, but they're the same people, so you're still counting on them as one.
6 years we've been.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Michigan.
not 18 East Michigan.
Jerry?
I don't understand what you're doing, because to me, everything is on an attitude. 4 people that we know is gonna be there every week, and that's the one serving. The people that comes in is based upon their needs,
Right.
so they're gonna change. You know, it could be because of a food pantry down the street, or they got a ride, or I don't see how you can come up with a positive answer. But most of them I'm not being derogatory, but I call them street people. You know, they've been drinking all day, they need something in their, if they have a drink, they probably don't need to eat.
Right.
You know, so everything is changed on what their needs are.
Anybody can answer that? What do you think?
I mean, it could vary because now that you said that, like even that's the reason why I say my number's kind of up and down because it's not even always the residents that come. They call the 211, and the 211 give them the, you know, this is the nearest food pantry for you to go to. So it can vary. I mean, you do have people that feel like, okay, yeah, they may be serving a meal, but they're not serving what I want to eat. Or they, you know, they do. They have these attitudes that this is not the food that my family's used to having, or this is not the brand I want, or, you know, so you have those attitude as well. But it's just like, okay, so you're going to rather for your kids to starve versus, no, your pride is just really taking over, you know. And I mean, that's the thing that we keep on saying, the government, and I mean, even having food stamps, and you got the food stamp date. I mean, I keep arguing about the food stamp date. When they moved them, it was ridiculous. That's the worst thing they ever done, and I thought, because it's just like, you have your people that are on disability, and they get their check between the 1st and the 3rd of the month. If by the 4th, they have their food stamp. Some people will have their food stamp already. So they already paid their bills, they done got their food stamp. Now, it's like those people that was getting their food stamp on the 4th have to wait till the 11th. So what do that mean? They have to pay $100 of groceries before they can actually get their food stamp. So it's just like they're losing money for their household. So it's like, okay, what bill are we going to cut short? Where can we find an energy assistant? Where can we find, you know, somebody to help us pay our utility bills? Because, you know, you have that. You have people that are on these disabilities, the Social Security income also, like you were saying earlier. And I mean, it is. I mean, that's how my household is affected and everything. And it's sad to see that because it's just like, okay, yeah, we budget this out. We know what we have. We know that our income is this. It's a set amount. But what can we cut out to be like, okay, we're going to have food on the table every day?
And you might not have anything. Because everything is necessity.
Right.
You don't have cable, you don't have internet service, you don't even have a real telephone. You got this free Obama phone.
Minutes, you got minutes on that, so yeah.
All right, okay, so let me go ahead and just, I don't want us to end in negative, okay?
No.
We have the kingdom of God within us. That means we have the resources. We cannot say that this thing is impossible, right?
Right.
God, we have the delegated authority from the creator of all the universe.
Yes.
Amen.
What I'm saying, though, is that let's take a look at the deeper role of food ministry. We cannot just say, no, there's nothing else we can do. Then we let the devil win.
Mm-hmm.
And he's already a defeated foe.
Mm-hmm.
He's already done.
Already.
And what we do is change the mindset of people.
Exactly.
Jesus started with 5,000 people. After he fed them, they followed him. Probably 5 miles, they walked across the lake. They followed him. And Jesus said, "You following me because your bellies are empty." And he even told the pillar of the church, early church, Peter, "Are you going to live too?" And Peter said, "No. You have the living word and water."
Mm-hmm.
That's what we have inside. And out of that 12, he conquered the world. And maybe in our lifetime we will see him eye to eye. I don't know. But it's coming. One day less from yesterday, Jesus is coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I'm trying to talk about here is that we cannot solve all the problems in the world. What if we find one person, like Charles is talking about, once a month? What if we focus on our food pantry? I want to be part of a change of one person once a month. Just like that person. The rest of them, we cannot. No. We are not God, and we cannot save everybody. But we are given authority and command. We don't have a choice. If you're a Christian, command to give hope to people. And it's up to them, their choice, to do that.
I've been doing this for 6 years, and I keep telling the people around me, it isn't about the food. What is one soul worth?
Yes.
And I think our rule book says it pretty clear.
Yeah.
God thinks.
Good.
Well, and I think also we have to remember that we are a faith-based organization. And what is the difference in us and a government-run organization? The difference is that we have the hope of Jesus Christ. We have that information. Those people out there don't know that. That's our responsibility to convey that hope, that message to them. We can talk about all these other things till we're blue in the face. But until they surrender their life to Jesus Christ, nothing in their life is going to change. So we can talk about housing, we can talk about transportation, we can talk about all these things, but they're just tangible things. We need heart changes. Heart changes are what totally redefine people. And we have that authority and that ability because we're believers in Jesus Christ. He's commanded us to go and make disciples of all nations. Those nations start right here in Jerusalem. Our Jerusalem is 46208. That's our city. We need to start changing hearts right here, not worrying about how they're going to get housing, how they're going to, I mean, yes, those things are very important. I understand that. They're very important. But we have to change hearts. We have that responsibility that God's given us to give that information.
Very good. All right. Well, so man, it's 12:15. Isn't it great? Everybody's interacting. You know, we learn from each other. We have one thing, say something, one thing another, and so on and so forth. So let me